come up short against the Memphis Grizzlies, 108-100. Welcome to Raptors Tonight, live from Real Sports. I'm Randy Urban, joined by Jack Armstrong, Leo Rautins, and Paul Jones. Jack, I'll start with you tonight, because you're to my right, and I like talking to my right first.
Wait a minute. You never go right.
I always
You never.
I am left-handed.
Have you ever played basketball with Randall Urban, folks? He has two directions. He's left-handed. Left and extreme left.
Well, they said the same thing about Jaren Jackson. He's going to his right pretty well now.
Jack, just your impressions first off with this one.
Well, I hate Monday night games, to be honest with you. I'm like, there's just some, it's just like, I don't know, it's just some sort of like lull in the building. Mm-hmm. And the Raptors came out tonight and just didn't have the juice. Like, they turned the ball over a lot, never led in this game. And I thought Jaren Jackson really set the tone for his team with 6 steals in the first quarter. And that really put the Grizzlies in a great position. And to their credit, they played with the lead the whole night. But you got to generate your own juice a little bit. And it was frustrating tonight for the Raptors to have, just not able to really string it together and be consistent. But, man, oh man, Jaren Jackson, I thought he really, and the Grizzlies, they really got after it tonight. A team that's decimated with injuries. I was really impressed with how they played.
What was the difference for you, Leo?
Well, okay. When the Raptors beat Miami, I don't want to put that out of perspective. It happens.
Yeah.
When the Raptors play like this game, you don't want to put it out of perspective either, right? But the reality is the Raptors saw a Miami uniform, played one way. They saw a Memphis uniform of a depleted team, played another way. And you just can't do that. First of all, the Raptors aren't good enough at this stage to look at anybody and say, okay, we got this, okay? You got to come out and you got to play as hard as you can. And, if you look at the effort at the beginning of the game, it was poor. Mm-hmm. You look at the carelessness offensively, just throwing the ball across court, leaving your feet, just like it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's just playing. You can't play that way.
Yeah.
So, and this is a lesson that, they really have to start to understand that, you've got to come to play in this league every single game. And from the top down of the roster, we talked about a post game that, Scotty Barnes, that here's a kid that's got to learn to be the guy.
Yeah.
He's not the guy yet. They want him to be the guy, but you got to learn to be the guy. And part of learning to be the guy is taking games like this, getting your team together, say, we got to come and play.
Right.
And you do it right from the beginning. But that's part of the process, right? That's why I said, you don't want to take Miami and say, hey, you won a championship. You don't want to look at this game and say it's the end of the world. It's part of the you got to figure out.
Okay, but Jonesy, when you see a team like Memphis, you see that jersey in front of you, and the game starts the way it does. How come you can't change it mid-first quarter or halftime? Like
The other guys got something to do with that too.
Yeah.
And you gave them life.
Exactly. They feel they're buoyed by confidence. Jack talked about it. Raptors had 12 turnovers in the first half, giving up 18 points. Even though they were shooting the ball well, at one time they had more turnovers than made field goals. And this is not, like they're shooting 63% on 7 of 11, but they've got 8 turnovers. So you're giving the other team, as Leo said, you're giving them life. They've got confidence, and now it kind of sets a tone, and you're fighting that the entire night. The other thing I thought was neither of these teams have won more than 2 games. The Raptors were 1 and whatever. Memphis was 1 and whatever when being out-rebounded. Rebounds were even tonight. But Memphis had 20 of their 48 on the offensive end.
Right.
And we've seen that script before from the Raptors over the last few years.
Yeah.
Offensive rebounds, more shots. Even if you're not shooting a great percentage, you get 12 more shots. Even if you're a 30% shooting team, that's 4 out of 12. A couple of threes in there, that's 10 points.
Yeah.
Right? So, just like Jack was saying, I just felt the building didn't have a lot of juice. They didn't start well. And listen, they really picked up the sense of urgency toward the end of the game. But all that did was push Memphis too to pick it up. And they could never make any inroads. And listen, it's a second straight game that their offense hasn't generated the points and the scoring that we'd seen in the 3 or 4 previous games. I mean, they were clipping it along at 117, 118.
Yeah.
What'd they have against the Knicks? 100? What'd they have tonight? 100?
How do you offset the size difference? Obviously, you're missing Pirtle. He can't come back soon enough. But is there anything that they can do to kind of mitigate that?
I think you got to put a lot more pressure into the ball and extend your pickup point as much as possible. And you got to play like junkyard dogs. You got to win 50-50 balls. I thought Memphis, when Jackson went out of the game with the 4 foul, they won the minutes he didn't play, and they had no size. They just were quicker to the ball, and all those scrums where guys are diving on loose balls, and so I think for the Raptors, I think it's really important. They don't play till Friday now, and you're at home. I think these next few days of practice and being able to kind of fine-tune things a little bit and kind of dot some I's, cross some T's, and get back to some fundamental details is going to be important. And then you go on the road for 6. It's interesting, when I look at the last West Coast trip that the Raptors had, I was really impressed with how they played overall on that trip. They played with a lot of grit and toughness. And for whatever reason, the last few nights in particular against the Knicks and Memphis, they haven't had that. I thought against Miami and Chicago, they battle. And, the next few days now, it's going to be important to kind of get back to the script and together, cumulative perspective, be sharper. And you know what? When you add new guys, it's tough, too. When you don't have a lot of practice time.
And that's the
thing.
thing.
Like this week, you legitimately have 2 to 3 practice opportunities. And then on that 6-game trip, you'll have some. So hopefully that extra time getting things worked out is going to help.
We were at training camp. Darko's got a whole new team. No Pascal, no OG, no Precious, like guys that he was giving minutes to. No
And
Malachi.
so does Scotty Barnes.
And that's it too. And as you said, Jack, the integration of it all without practice time. It's not like Darko can stop and say, okay, I need a week, a couple of 2-a-days, watch film, really band together. You can't do that. The games are coming at you. Now, it's not an excuse, but it is the reality. And you overcome that, like Leo said, looking at the opponent and saying, we don't care who you are, we're going to give you everything that we have. And they didn't generate any of that.
Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way. They didn't generate it consistently.
Yeah, and so that's, Leo, then at the pro level, why is energy inconsistent? What happens there?
It is. It's you see it across the board. You see it all
Human
around
nature.
the NBA. Oh yeah, and so that's where it's got to come from within. The great teams get it from within, right?
I've never seen you inconsistent.
Well, it's because I'm hanging around you. So you're my role model. Right? But you look at again, you use the example that like for a player like Scotty, if you're the guy, it's hard to be the guy. Because the guy's got to be there every night, right? The guy's got to lead, he's got to be vocal, he's got to play. And so...
And without Pascal and OG and people like that
Right.
now,
Yeah.
you can't take a night off.
No, and teams are going to send you to your weaknesses, they're going to crowd you. But, you got to be part of it, just the energy. I think Darko made a comment in the pregame. He said guys aren't even sure how to look at each other, how to communicate with each other when you start losing, and how do you act. And well, that's where the guys, say in RJ, who's been in New York, quickly, Scotty, have got to help guys how to act, how to get through this, and you're asking young guys to do this, which is a problem. But that's what you have to do right now. It's you can't hang your head. You can't, like there were a lot of guys looking cross-eyed at each other in this game today, like, hey, where were you? Why didn't you? You can't do that. Right? If you want to challenge guys, that's one thing, but just don't start pointing fingers. Right? And that's the part of the process you got to get through this right now. And like Jonesy said, it's very hard to do where you don't have practices, right? So this could be a good week for this team.
With Pirtle out, I thought Thad Young has been
really
terrific in his minutes.
I mean, at this stage of his career, to get the minutes you're getting from him, I don't think you can ask much more from him. Obviously, they decided to go with him a lot more. Porter had some issues with his eye tonight, was also ineffective. So I think they made the decision to go there. And, you're just getting Bruce Brown integrated in your system.
I love
Think
the way
about that.
he
Just
defends.
think about, okay, you're getting Bruce Brown integrated.
Yeah.
Bruce Brown's reading that he might be gone.
Yeah.
And he very well might be gone because he's an asset that can get you a lot, right? You know, Gary Trent Jr. starts slow. Gary Trent Jr., he's reading he might be gone. Chris Boucher, where's he been? Well, he's reading he might be gone. All this is going on while you're trying to win games and play together.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy environment.
Yeah.
And everybody just went through that with Pascal and went through that with OG. Right? It's not an easy environment.
And it's not an easy environment for a first-year NBA head coach.
It's brutal.
You know, obviously Coach Starko's had opportunities before to be a head coach, but at this level he hasn't. And this is a tough team.
Different
to have
animal.
There's a lot of transition going on and pivots that are happening so quickly. It's a lot. It's a lot. I feel for him.
Yeah. All right, let's pause it there for now and welcome in our fan of the night. Please give a round of applause for Tom Liston.
Tom, all right.
Come on in, Tom.
Tom Liston, wow.
Oh,
Legend.
Thank you.
You know these guys?
I do.
All right.
What's happening?
You're not supposed to admit that.
I don't. I try not
We're
to.
out on bail. You're not supposed to do that.
Jack Armstrong, Leo Rautins, Paul Jones, Tom Liston, everybody. Tom,
See you guys again.
you got a comment or a question for the group?
You talked about energy, and we have some coaches in the room, and I coach as well. And there was many moments in late third, early fourth, where there was a lot of probably small fouls on the Raptors. I sat right in front of them, watched maybe some small fouls, and they sat on their butts, didn't get up, complained to the referee, and then Memphis went back and scored, I think, 7-9 points off those sort of complaining, not getting back turnovers. Chris Boucher, a couple others. How do you react as a coach? Do you, in youth basketball, you can pull them off, sit them down, say, hey, the hustle's not there. There was no hustle in the late third, early fourth when we could have come back. Loose balls, whatever, and Memphis scored on transition because people weren't getting back. How do you tell a $20 million player to get their, back on defense and make that stop?
I mean, for me, it's regardless of the level we're at, you play, I coach. You turn the ball over, you better be the first one back there. And if there's an issue with the ref,
I'll handle it.
that's my job. I can't rebound, I can't play defense, I can't make shots. I stand behind the line and do what I can to help you. And if part of helping you is saying to the ref, hey, my guy's getting bumped. I mean, I know the one play, Santi Aldama drove in, bounced off Thad Young, laid it in. The next trip up court, the same thing happened with R.J. Barrett, no call. Right? And, guys are you're right. But, we used to say it all the time. Oh, I know you didn't walk back after turning it over. And as Leo said, as long as you're not pointing fingers, you get on the guy, hey man, I need you to come back. Well, he fouled me. I know, but get back. We'll worry about that later.
So how do you do that? Do you call timeout mid-game? Do you sub them off for a bit?
Darko's done a lot of early timeouts.
Well,
I
he
like
sure
that.
has,
I mean,
yeah.
you call guys and hey, cut the crap. We can't play like this. But at the same time, okay, you look at, say, calls, right? What have we seen? We talk about this all the time. The aggressive team gets the calls.
Yep.
Right? It's when you're playing one way, first of all, even if you're hacking every play, referee's not going to call hack every play.
Right.
So you're going to get breaks. And if you're the team that's passive, all of a sudden you start playing harder. Well, it's glaring. Now it looks like a foul, right? So the team that plays hard gets the calls. And I'm going to tell my guys, look, you're just not playing. They're getting the calls. Don't bitch about the calls. You're not getting the calls because you're not playing hard enough.
Well,
right?
and I thought the officiating, I said during the game, it was a loose whistle tonight.
It was.
Yes.
Both
Both ways.
So,
But one team adjusted, and the other team just
correct.
complained about it.
That's exactly
And unfortunately, it was
it.
our team.
And that, you have to be able to identify the traits and the mannerisms and style of the three guys that are officiating the game that night and what they've decided as a crew to do. It's like a football officiating crew that calls a lot of pass interference or holding on the offensive line, whatever.
You got to adjust.
You got to adjust to that. And when that was a street fight tonight. And, so that's when you got to win 50-50 balls. Like, I love Thad Young. He was diving head first into And that you need more of that.
There's one player, it was Thad Young, and the rest of them were not diving. Amir Johnson used to change the game. How do you get the other players to step up like a Thad Young and that? The rest of them were passive.
All you can do is, if you're Thad, be the example.
Yeah.
Yes.
Continue to, hey, this is what we need. This is what we need.
Well, if they don't play.
That's right.
A quick one, Randy. Do you think they might have changed the zone because they were beating them inside and trying to take? I know there's some
They
good.
did go zone, and Memphis today. Memphis had some struggles against it.
Right.
But bottom line, this was a game like, hey man, who? It's a street fight. Like, who wants to get the loose ball? Who wants to win those battles? And I give the Grizzlies credit. I mean, I give the Grizzlies a lot of credit. They are. Look, I'll take the 7 guys that they have hurt right now.
Absolutely.
I'll take them, and you say, look, you could have those 7 guys and put another 8 guys scrubs on your team. I'm like, okay, I'll coach that team in the NBA. I'll take my chances with those guys. So they're missing a ton of really good guys, and I give them a lot of credit. I just say, man, we can focus a lot on the Raptors. I looked out there tonight. I go, you know what? The Grizzlies, I really admire and respect what they did tonight. So give the other guy credit.
It's a little bit of get back too. Raptors started their road trip in Memphis with a win.
And played well.
And they played well. And you know what? They come in here, it's like, all right, you got it at our place.
Right.
We got you now.
All right, Tom, ready for a spin?
I
and
think
a
he's been
shot?
asking all these questions because he's trying to avoid the pressure.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's right.
Tom, I don't know if I should tell you this, but are the tickets back up there, Randy?
No, the tickets are back up there.
Oh, the tickets are back.
Spin for the
All right.
tickets.
Randy,
breaking the
The
mic.
yellow,
Wow.
Tom. Spin for the
Tom,
tickets.
You spin first.
Spin for the
first.
tickets, Tom.
Make
Give it a
Randy
good
cry.
spin.
Get the tickets.
What do you want
going.
up there?
If
You
not,
got-
Randy's giving the tickets away to people
bag.
he knows,
He's not going to be able to use them on Bachelor.
Spin around to here.
Raptors hat, socks.
Valentine's
Oh,
Day.
tickets!
2 tickets.
Tickets!
You got
Oh!
a basketball. You got a
ball.
basketball. You got to shoot first. Yeah.
Tom, you got this. Come on.
Hito Turkoglu, that spot.
Here we go.
All right, Tom. Talk a big game. Here we go.
There we got it.
Oh,
Give him another one. Come on, Tom. There you go. All right.
I was gonna say,
Everybody goes home a winner.
I feel like the Raptors today.
I hope none of the North Toronto girls.
Shout out
Huskies
to anybody
teams.
watching at home.
Everybody at the world's oldest basketball court with Jonesy and Armstrong as seen in person. Mark McAllister is here with me, who's been a big supporter of the world's oldest basketball court in St. Stephen, New Brunswick. So everybody back home in New Brunswick, shout out to them.
All right. Thanks,
Thank you,
Tom.
Randy.
Appreciate it. Thanks for being on.
All right, Tom. Great to see you, buddy.
Fix me up here.
All right, Tommy.
How about that? Took him a few chances, but all right, we'll take it. Good effort by Tom.
Good effort by Tom.
Hey, Randy, I just got a question now. So,
Yeah.
so what do you do with your dates when you gave up the tickets now? Huh? This is going to cause
we
a
got
problem
the
in your
tickets.
social calendar, isn't it?
Christian, we got another game Friday night, so those tickets still better be up
They're
on
up
the
there.
board.
Don't worry.
Wait, no, Friday night, he's not giving up Friday night tickets, is he? Come
I'm
on.
using yours on Friday night.
Oh, you
There'll be
think
no
so?
tickets Friday night.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the scoring that we're seeing in the NBA. Tonight we had Embiid get 70 against the Spurs.
They won,
And Towns get 62.
and they lost.
And they lost.
They lost. Are we going to see someone break
Jonesy, what'd you say before we went on?
Well,
Kobe's?
to sound like the old guy in the room,
Don't be the cane waver, Jonesy.
Do it, Jonesy.
Don't be the cranky cane waver.
Cane waiver?
Yell at the clouds.
the old guy, get off my
The
line.
cranky cane waver.
I never
Get off
heard
my
that.
line.
The cane
Get off
waiver. I
my
like
line.
that.
We're in a different era.
Back in
We-
my day.
70.
We witnessed, Leo and I witnessed Kobe's 81. 2000, it was, what, 18 years ago.
We got to get Sam
2006.
Mitchell here and ask him why he didn't double team him. Our
And-
guy
I'm
Sam.
asking him that.
And it was more physical, and the defenses had a little more leeway. I'm expecting it more in this era. Not, to, as Jack said, to be the cane waiver, but Steve Kerr talked about defense almost being legislated out of the game.
Well,
to me, it's just been
I'd say that Steve Kerr has benefited the most
Oh,
of
yeah.
anybody.
Oh, no
of that.
question. No
He's
question.
got a finesse team.
Right, but Kerr said it, Popovich has said it, Some of the top coaches in the league are saying it.
Defense has been devalued. So it's great, and it's a great way to recruit fans. And we've said it before here. They'd rather see 123, 121 than 99, 97. And that's the era we're in now.
I don't think anyone's coming after Wilt, but is Kobe's 81 going to get topped?
It's a possibility, maybe.
It's got a top. It's okay. Embiid. You look at a game like tonight. Why can't that happen again?
Yeah.
It'll happen again.
Well, there's there's bad teams in the league right now.
Yeah.
There's some historically bad teams. Like he did it against a really bad team.
And if the Sixers go, okay, we're just going to give you the ball. You just go. Who's going to stop him in a game like, let's say, against the Pistons or somebody like that? He can get what he wants, right?
And on the other hand, if you're Minnesota, you're the number 1 seed in the West. Good for Karl Anthony Towns, but you just lost to a really bad team in Charlotte. So as much as, honestly, 2 days from now, no one will even remember Karl Anthony Towns got 62.
Do you think that Minnesota has what it takes to hold on to that number 1 spot throughout the rest of the season?
I still think they have to make some sort of move with their second unit, just a little more shooting maybe.
Naz Reid's been great.
What's that?
Naz Reid's been great.
Naz Reid's been great. Give like Conley a little more help. He's an older player. Oh, they're really good, but Denver's very good. The Clippers are really good.
Oklahoma City's good, too.
Oklahoma City's really
Shea
good.
is incredible.
And, Phoenix, when they get into a series,
That's the team, Jack. Don't sleep on Phoenix.
they get into a series with those 3 guys, if they're healthy, they haven't been great, but they could be a dangerous team in a series.
Did you see those plays by Anthony Edwards recently? The one where he
Yeah.
started off the backboard?
Yep.
Does he remind you of somebody, Leo? And who is that somebody?
I don't know. You tell me.
To me, he moves a little bit like Mike.
No, he's not Mike.
I know he's
Sorry.
not Mike, but he
No,
moves a little bit like
What
Mike.
play you're talking about,
Yeah.
He's exciting. He's
Oh,
explosive.
I
But
like
again,
him. He's not Mike.
but I'm going
I
to
know
say,
he's
Randy,
not Mike.
it's a different era.
Yeah.
Like, he's not doing that. Cane waving
The game
alert.
is still physical now.
It's not
The game is
physical
still
now.
physical now. on
It's
some
not-
level.
it's
There's
not
a lot
as
of-
physical
There's
as it was.
driving. There's a lot of throwing the arm out.
but
like
Randy-
Shooter got in the face a bunch of times.
Randy-
Guys just trying to drive on.
Guys,
That's horrible.
guys
hope
would
they'll be
never,
okay.
their legs and energy would be taken from them.
Yeah.
You're not running around screens like that back in the day.
Yeah.
Guys are stepping out. The guy who's guarding the screener stepping out. He's putting a forearm in your chest.
Okay, yeah.
They've taken that out, dislodging and taking away a path and stuff.
But just think about if back in the day, if you're in a perimeter, if I can ride you, I got a hand on your hip, I can steer you, I can hold you back. You imagine a guy like some of the defenders, like a Doc Rivers, 6'4", 220. You're going to drive, but he's got a hand on your hip, right? Now you can't touch a guy. How do you stop a guy if you can't touch him?
I know we got to go.
Yeah, we got to go.
But I'm a sports fan. Same thing in the NFL. Same thing in the NHL.
Yeah.
Same thing in Major League Baseball. God forbid you throw a guy a pitch inside.
Yeah.
It's a bench clearing brawl.
Yeah.
So it's the nature of sports today.
The evolution of it, Jack.
It's what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
That's the most overused line.
And we're going to stop it there. Next
that an
game for the
overused line?
Raptors, Friday
It
versus the
is
Clippers.
what it is.
Tip-off goes at 7:30 p.m.
Hey, Friday
Eastern.
night when you need
After the game,
tickets,
come on by
you go,
Real
it is.
Sports. Be a part of the show. Leo will treat you some
Tickets on the
tickets.
wheel. Randy will be
Thank you for
giving away.
watching. We'll see you next time.
Most eligible bachelor.